What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Sword Art Online roleplay, and now we're in the podcast section. Woo! I'm back and at it. So we are all good in the hood, and Hestia is with me once again and did a wonderful job in the last episode, except for some, mishaps with the recording.
Nothing's ever perfect your first time around being king.
Well, I mean, anyways,
you Mr. Perfect.
we also have a misnamed guest here that I didn't catch until now, and I would like to welcome our special.
Impression, I'm sorry.
It's easy.
Come on, it's pretty easy.
So I'd like to welcome Val as our special guest this month's episode.
Hey, thanks for having me.
So we've got some interesting stuff going on.
Yeah, a lot's going on the site actually, even though it's been a little slow too.
Yeah. So how are you guys this morning? You guys living well?
Yeah, I've been very busy and a little under the weather, which is why I'm very behind in threads, but things are going really well.
That'll happen.
I'm in college, so I don't know what sleep schedule is.
You're in college, you don't know what sleep is.
If you're sleeping, you're doing it wrong.
Exactly, so I'll apologize in advance right now if you hear me yawn. It doesn't help that I just woke up like 30 minutes ago, and I only got like 6 hours of sleep. I'm not functioning well.
It's okay, I messed up time zones again, so I woke up 2.5 hours ago.
And this is why I hate time zones. They're evil.
Yeah, time zones are, a bit interesting. So, let's get right into the topics today. Do we have anything for upcoming quests in progress?
Nothing really. Besides, the usual, we got the new Floor 24 quests that were out when the floor came out. We have the Floor 25 quests that'll come out when the floor is released that I've mentioned are draconic in nature for a few of them. And Hick is still working on the sequel to Incognito Antics.
Did you guys finish your Rhino quest?
Neo, myself, we finished the actual quest portion. Now we're doing some RP section because of things that happen.
I was wondering if anybody had finished any of the new quests yet. We just started the Rhino quest, but unfortunately, an enemy and Shield's computers have gone down, so that put brakes on that thread real quick.
That would do that. Yeah, I don't think anyone has finished any of the new quests yet, but that'll change when we actually finish the Rhino thread, which should be relatively soon. Considering that it's both Haz and Neo and myself. People are like kind of power
fighting the Rhino?
Not that difficult, really. It's very easily something a group of tier 2 level 30 players could do with relative ease.
Yeah, let's just hope we don't have another fiasco of someone coming in and killing 2 level 2s.
But that was a thing when?
I think Dom did it. Flew in and killed a couple.
Yeah, he decided to join an OP and just kill random low-level players.
Wait, is this the whole step into low-level thread, spawn hell enemies, walk out situation?
No, he joined a thread, glared at some newbies, and then used his AoE attack to kill all of the newbies in the thread. This is where we came up with the rule that you can't. Oh, what was the term that they used, Shark, when you come into a thread, kill someone, and then leave, or bring in all of your friends? I can't remember what the term.
I know what you're talking about, just I can't remember the term.
But yeah, so then after Dom killed all the newbies, Tyr and a bunch of other people suddenly spawned into the thread and killed Dom. And then we had to put the brakes on everything until we figured out how to rule everything. That was a chaotic time on the site.
Oh, was it ever? There were so many threads that got nuked in that age.
Yes, there were.
Sark posting. You can tell this is an old story if that's a fact.
Yeah. So far, Shark has yet to be found, but some courageous adventurers have undergone the quest.
Seems more like the adventure has put on a grinding halt. I've not seen that be posted to in a long while.
Yeah, like I said, with Shield's computer being down, his ability to post regularly has tanked.
Nice pun. Well played. Well played. I'll give you that one.
I deal with dad jokes in general, Tag. I deal with dad jokes here. There's no escape.
Nope. There's some jokes that are around your entire life.
Am I a joke to you, Sark?
Maybe. I mean, after last podcast episode, do you really blame me?
I did it good.
Yeah, exactly. You missed a good 7 minutes.
Actually 11, but that's semantics.
Anywho, do we have any upcoming events?
Nothing planned at the moment. More so, the energy's been diverted towards trying to actually fulfill the promise of killing the meme of 3.0.
Yeah. We'll see if we can actually get that meme to stop.
So yeah, so it's all Morgenstern and all of them are diverting most of their attention and focus and energy towards preparing the everything for 3.0.
Yeah, that's one of those big things that a lot of people realize is you have to update, all of the quests to have appropriate rewards or different, monster stats and all of that good stuff, and that's a considerable amount of work. We have a lot of quests.
Yeah, and there's gonna be there's a lot of rebalancing going on right now.
Yep.
Well, still, it's exciting to see that everybody is working really hard on it.
Yeah, so if you don't see many events unlike last year, that's the reason why. At the very least, I can say that Ruby and I think Itch are working on a little something for Easter.
That'll be fun. Now, is there anything for you guys watching, or Bal? Is there anything that you guys want to see in terms of events that we undergo and get out for you guys?
Well, I know we hit a lot of the same kind of events every year, like an Easter event or a Valentine's event or a Christmas event or a Halloween event, but I would like to see some more kind of thematic events. So, a big one that you would probably see in SAO is something like, the Cherry Blossom Festival or an Oban Festival, something like that.
Okay, so more of the season, more of the seasonal festivals.
Yeah. Like the Cherry Blossom Festival is a spring thing, and I think Oban is more towards the end of summer, I believe.
Okay,
Harvests.
So Baldur, I'm an uncultured swine. What's an Oban festival?
So the Oban Festival is kind of I believe it's honoring your ancestors, kind of the people that came before you. I think it's kind of like a fall harvest thing as well. But the Japanese are typically kind of an ancestor worship culture, so they try to go out and honor the people that came and worked to bring them to where they are at. And I think that could be kind of a neat celebration for SAO, tying in the monument of life and everything like that.
Okay.
The very first thing I thought of Baldur was half of the playbase being like, "What's an Oban festival?" in Kyoto, and you being like, "All of you are uncultured swides. I'm from Japan."
Well, so the Oban Festival is also where you typically see a lot of the lanterns. You know, so if you've ever seen like the Lantern Festival, I think that kind of gets its roots from the Oban.
Hmm. I am learning actual culture today.
No kidding. Talk about getting a history lesson.
I mean, if you ever wanted to learn about Japan, we have the Weeb King himself here.
I was gonna say I've gotta maintain my reputation as the Weeb King.
Well, speaking of, I gotta get back into that. There's so many shows I haven't been up to date with.
Speaking of that, when you said what things you've been like watching, I was like, oh, you're going to talk about some anime here. I'm ready for this. Then you mentioned essay, I was like, oh.
Yeah, I was listening to the last podcast, and Macrodon's like, "Oh, what current anime are you guys watching?" And then you're like, "Oh, let's talk about an anime that came out 10 years ago."
Wait, which one?
Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood.
Oh, yeah, that's it. So I was like,
Oh, did you see they just got the or I don't know how recent it was, but Netflix picked up the live rendition of it. I haven't watched it yet, in fear of it's gonna turn out like Death Note.
Yeah, I think that's what I've heard is that it was not particularly good. I watched the Bleach live action movie, and that one was abjectly
actually
horrible.
Okay.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. It did not look as bad as I expected. Like the way they did the hollows and the fighting and everything actually looked pretty good. So
yeah.
Okay, so we're talking of live action anime movies.
Did
any of y'all watch the Aincrad Battle Angel thing?
I have not yet. I think Z and Macrodon both went and saw it, and I think Macrodon loved it, and I think Z liked it okay.
Yeah. I don't even know if that even is anime. I just called it because of the giant freaking eyes everyone's commenting about it. Like how the leader person has like huge eyes for no reason.
She has big anime eyes. What?
Yes, apparently that's a thing.
Big beady eyes. All right. Anyways, let's kind of direct this train back to the station. Let's move on to some. Let's talk about the floors. So, do we have any upcoming floor themes?
Ooh, there's quite a bit. There's obviously the floor 25 that if everyone used Google could figure out that's the 11th floor. Speaking of that, there's actually a lot of actual canonical floors coming up.
Mm-hmm.
So, hey, easy work, right? Floor 26 is Morgenstern's floor, which I don't know how much I'm allowed to actually say, so I'll give myself some creative liberties. I'm sorry, Morgenstern, if you want us to be kept a secret. Floor 26 is the primary place is more so a kingdom location, like kingdom, capital, that kind of deal.
Okay.
Yeah, floor 26 is not canon, but floor 27 and 28 are. So 25, 27, and 28 of the upcoming floors are all canon floors.
Wait, 28's canon?
Yep. Well, all we know about it is the Wolf Plains, which is the outdoor dungeon where Kirito goes to level and he comes across Klein and the rest of Furin Kazan. So we've got like one location in the floor. It says the dungeon is located outside of town on the 28th floor, consists of hilly grasslands with gravel roads and stone ruins.
Well, I'll say this with our visit of 28. You might not see that.
Huh. So, is there anything that you guys would want to see in terms of these floors? Because I know there's not a whole lot on information available for every single floor, so we do get creative here and there.
To no one's surprise about me, considering my name and armor convention, give me a Greek floor, please. I know we have I know we have floor 17. I wouldn't mind another.
We have a Greek floor.
I wouldn't mind another Baldur. That's more focused on the mythological side.
How about we get a single Japanese floor first?
True enough.
One.
I mean, if you really think about it, floor 10's has Japanese style influence on it.
Not really. I would like to see kind of another mountainous and or snow floor, considering how popular the fourth floor is for being, the snowy Christmas village. I think, another snowy floor or something kind of themed along that would be really neat.
All right, keep that in mind. What about you guys in chat? Anyone have any ideas? If not, you feel free to message myself or Morgenstern or Taeyeon even.
Oh yeah.
So what's going on with the boss situation? I know there's a meeting in progress right now, but any highlights on what's going on there?
Well, we finally finished the 11th Guardian. Wasn't that fun, Baldur? Wasn't that fun, Baldur?
Which, if you haven't read it, is an interesting thread. I mean, a lot of it is just us trying to grind through some combat posts, but there is a lot of frontline drama that is rearing its head and going to be fallout from that thread as well. So it can be a pretty interesting thread to follow if you're wanting to keep up with I don't know what to call the soap opera of the front lines. The days of the front lines, or as the front line turns.
This is like ABC drama show title for it.
Yeah.
I can see it.
Yeah.
But the description that we got of the boss room is that it's going to be a beach cove, so that should be interesting.
Giant something made holes inside the cliffs.
Yeah, so my theory was that it was a giant octopus that we were gonna fight, and it can grab players and pull them underwater. So instant death, and you have to cut off the tentacles. So
if it is an octopus, it had to have like some crazy damage because it blasted holes into mountains for pure strength.
I mean, it's that or we're gonna fight a giant Squirtle. So
I hope it's a Squirtle.
I was about to say that would be interesting. That would be good.
Give me a Pokemon boss, please.
The one with the sunglasses, though.
The Squirtle Squad leader? Yes! It's limiting to the other Squirtle Squad members also wearing sunglasses.
Oh, man.
I want that now. Give me.
I guess it's a big hit with chat, so hey, +1.
But the actual meeting itself, I just started it, and I actually made it an open thread, which I don't know if that's a new thing done. So like in the days of old.
Jeez, now you're asking me about days of old. Oh man.
Yeah. Back when you were a member of the front lines, was there ever an open thread for it? For a floor boss meeting?
I think we've always done private. Just because we didn't really have as many people, and we knew who was all joining. So there wasn't really a need.
We've had one or two OP boss planning meetings. We started to get away from them because we would have a lot of people. Back when you could just join an OP post once and then get the full SP for the entire thread, we had a lot of people just come in and post once or twice in the thread and then leave anytime there was an OP, including the boss meeting. And several times there would just be so many people that would show up with all of their alts that had no real reason to be there. It just got really chaotic. So it tends to kind of go back and forth in cycles of sometimes we'll have them and then they'll be abused and then we'll close them and then
people will want them and then the cycle repeats itself.
Yep.
Yeah, it sounds like humanity. I mean, what?
I used the one that did another open thread floor boss meeting because it made sense for the location.
No, I completely agree. And I don't think we'll have a
location
problem
depending,
with
it
this
would be
one.
everything.
The location of the floor boss meeting this time, Sark, is the open theater place from the anime, for the first floor boss meeting place.
Was it
Okay.
Taruna Village or something like that?
Something like that.
Yeah,
I forgot the actual name of it, so I was like, you guys know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah. We all know what you're talking about. I forget what the name of that is. Tolbana.
Tolbana? Okay, good to know. I'll make sure to reference that next time. Because basically, anytime that I'll get put in charge of the floor boss meeting somehow, that's gonna be my location.
Yeah, the Tolbana Amphitheater.
Yep.
It is a nice amphitheater.
Yes, it is.
He's in charge, like, okay, Tolbana Amphitheater, let's go, boys.
Still waiting for the day we actually get the game in full dive. Till then, stuck with this crappy HTC and Oculus situation.
Yeah, no, I was one of my roommates is a game developer, and so I was telling him, I was like, if I just had millions of dollars to make a game, the thing that I would want to make is basically SAO, but there was a dot hack movie, and I can't remember which one, and it shows the guy. Yeah, it shows the guy sitting on a bench next to a canal, and he's got these like heavy duty sunglass looking things that you're basically your visor for VR, and then he's holding essentially a PlayStation controller that is Bluetooth to the visor. And so I'm like, well, you could do the current kind of Google Cardboard sort of setup where you take your cell phone and you put it in the visor, and then you've got your Bluetooth game controller, and there you go, you've got your VR SAO setup.
Right. Well, I'm thinking more so like the first thing.
Can play.
I'm thinking the first thing that we'll get is the similar to the Ogma and ordinal scale, just because we're so close to that already. It's like, why not just enhance on it? Because we've seen the Google Glass, but that actually flopped. But now that's making that. I guess they're starting to rework that. Then you have all these the Microsoft HoloLens too, that's being in production now, and it has an SDK out.
I think Intel has their SAO like proof of concept tech demo, where they actually go through and do a 3D scan of people and then put them in the game.
Oh,
and they
I think IBM did something with that.
Yeah, IBM.
Because I saw that on Facebook about a year ago.
Yeah, they did another video about it. I think you can look it up pretty easily on YouTube. But
I also have to look at that after the stream.
Here's the real question. Would they follow through on the popular meme of doing SAO first, or would they go with the children and do Pokemon first?
I think if anything, they would do the same thing. They would do it at the same time, because there's so many people that can demo it.
True.
They do a crossover event. You fight the Squirtle Squad and SAO.
It all lines up, people. It all adds up. Don't worry.
But no, it's going to be interesting to see what comes in the future. I know we've definitely got the resources to at least try and move closer to it. We'll see. I do know there's a current company, or not really, I don't even know if they're an official company, but I know that there's this Age of Aincrad that is working on making an SAO type game.
Yeah, I've heard of Age of Aincrad.
Oh, I'd want to give a huge shout out and congrats to the Preggers announcement from Shelby. AKA Lessa on the site. So that's a huge congratulations to them.
I'm just saying, if it's a boy, Baldur is a great name. Just throwing that out there.
Just name him casually after a Norse god. Don't worry.
Or you can name him after your favorite admin shark.
Yeah, but then she'd have to get him like a baby shark onesie,
That would be adorable.
We don't need baby shark memes.
Sure we do.
No, we don't.
We gotta get rid of the old ones. Those are crap.
By the way, Neo's comment about the SEO Pokemon edition. Gotta kill 'em all, Pokemon SEO edition.
That'd be funny. Well, this morning we had a wonderful donation from Hey. So a huge thank you to them for their support. Percival is still on the monthly donation, so as the only monthly donor, a huge thank you to Percival. And once again, I'd love to thank all you guys as fabulous members of this community, keeping us up and running, and we wouldn't be here without you.
I haven't seen Percival around in a while.
Haven't once or I've probably seen him pop in maybe like once every 3 months or so. Besides that, that's why I'm just like, oh, thank you, and I appreciate it. This is how we can afford to keep the site running.
Keep
Aaron
the lights
can
on.
take care of his kid.
Yeah.
So let's see here. Did we go? Did you in the last episode? Did you guys go over any highlights for the previous raid, or is that not wrapped up at that time?
We were trying to finish the Labyrinth Guardian fights.
Okay, so now that's over. Is there any highlights of that that thread?
Teamwork is important.
Teamwork makes the dream work. Isn't that the saying?
Well, teamwork is important. Infighting's more popular.
So, if you weren't following the thread, the Floor Labyrinth was fighting a giant fish creature humanoid chieftain.
It wasn't like giant. For myself,
giant for a fish.
Okay. That's an unfair comparison to make. It was like humanoid in size, like 6 foot maybe at the biggest. Of course, it's bigger than a fish.
And then it had 3 shaman with it, and the chieftain was mostly dealing damage. Had a couple of big attacks and AOE's, and then the shaman had the ability to reduce all of hates and cause Hestia to become very frustrated. And then it also had the ability to heal the boss and remove dots. So it was definitely the most challenging labyrinth fight in a while. I actually really liked the design. I thought it was very well done. It was just very difficult with the way that the groups fell at the beginning of the fight, not having any
coordination.
Sort of planning. We used to do group up preparation meetings before attempting to attack the floor labyrinth, but
let's group up and hit it till it dies.
I think this is the first time we've ever had people join mid-fight as well. So,
well, the thing about this one was different was
that happened?
They actually made it so you couldn't try to deal with it. Because from what I remember, floor 21 Labyrinth Guardian, floor 22, floor 23, you were able to all just solve it and get it done with. This one, because of the healing, made that impossible.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty close too.
So, if we had gone into the fight up front with the people that we had as 2 groups, it would not have been a challenging fight. But the way that we ended up approaching it and coming in waves made it a much more challenging encounter.
Yeah. The fact that I was in Hestia and Ruby go in by themselves. What could go wrong? Everything goes wrong. Zam just shows up as her own group.
Yeah, that'll happen.
And then comes in the hero squad, which was a point of contention for everybody. Because, yeah, when Baldur and the rest showed up, I mentioned this multiple times. They came being like, we're the big damn heroes. You're safe now. Don't be worried.
We had to quote Firefly.
And then naturally, Z's like, okay, you may be heroes, but they're defenders.
Granted, until we showed up, the boss was hitting. And then as soon as we showed up, the boss lost the ability to hit anyone.
It was pretty funny.
So, like, when we come in, Hestia wasn't able to get hate because every time she howled, the shaman would reduce her hate. And Ruby was getting beat up the way that Ruby usually does. And then we get into the meat of the fight, and all of a sudden the boss cannot hit anyone. I think Xandra went the entire fight until like the second to last round or something, and was unable to be hit. So she's just standing there yelling at the boss to hit her.
She channeled the Ultra Instinct Saggy. But yeah.
At this time, I'm going to take a quick second to say, hey, if you have any questions, topics, or something you want to see talked about on this podcast or answered, go ahead and drop that in chat, and make sure you use the @SAO-RPG, and or is it maybe just @SAO-RPG, or put it in the podcast channel of the Discord and tag one of us. We'll get around to it. We are going to accept call-ins when we get to that part of the show, so just keep in mind, if you want to join that, hop in the call-in section of the Discord.
Yeah. When it came to the actual Labyrinth Guardian, find out how annoyed Hestia was. She just gave up on the idea of tanking and just went for pure damage after a while. It's like, F it. I can't do my tank thing because of these summons, so I'm just gonna go and punch things with my sword.
Just like
and
you
the
go
shaman
to punch a
had
rock.
just enough evasion to be annoying. Yeah, Shield actually used a sword art for the first time in this thread.
Wait, what?
Wow.
I missed that. When did that happen?
When we were trying to execute the final gambit, he tried to use a sword art on the boss because Hiru missed his stun, and so Shield was trying to stun the boss to prevent him from summoning ads, and Shield missed, and then I missed. So, and then
what are the odds?
And then Beat, who was trying to finish off the last shaman, ended up leaving the shaman with 8 hit points.
The magic pixel.
So at that point, we just threw our hands up. We're like, "That's it. We give up." We had enough energy for one more attack before we were out, and I'm just like, you know what? We're just
gonna run.
That's enough.
We're gonna stick our tail between our legs and run.
In all honesty, Baldur, you managed to stay in the fight just long enough for us to join back in.
Yep. Well, at one point I was checking the forum to see if you guys had started a scouting thread to come back, and I couldn't see one. And then I mentioned something to Neo, and she's like, "Oh, we've got one." But I think you guys were at like 14 on your search or something like that. And I was like, "Well, you know, we can give you 36 hours around, but you better hurry up."
I know, Hick. Shield using a sword art is like madness.
Yeah, right.
Like madness? No, it is madness.
Oh, you right, it is madness at that point. Because when you think of Shield, think of the guy who never uses a weapon ever. It's what he has beat for.
Pretty much.
Yep. Yeah, Beat is his weapon.
Meanwhile, then there's me. I have points in all forms of builds.
You say that
I even
now.
have like rank 3 self just because I can.
I think he's going rapier.
He's using more optimal damage. I'm keeping mine the curved sword because it's Hestia. I'm not changing at this point.
It's too late to change.
Plus, if I chose a rapier, I could not choose an appropriate Greek-themed weapon for it. There's more swords in Greek myth than there are rapiers.
Well, I mean, the Japanese translation actually doesn't mean rapier. That's just what they chose to use. It actually just means like straight sword. So a lot of the translations for SAO stuff when it comes to things like that are really bad.
A lot of translations for a lot of stuff that you take from the Japanese culture into us, it translates bad, regardless.
That's very true.
That's because we have the most stupid language in the world. I mean, seriously, who spells sugar with a U and an A instead of an E? I mean, have you ever thought about it?
Not really.
Think about everything that our language sounds when you pronounce it, and think of how it's actually spelled versus how it sounds like it's spelled.
It's not a phonetic language.
That's why it's stupid.
There's a very funny YouTube video called "If the English Language Was Phonetically Consistent."
I think I saw that.
And he just does the vowels. and goes through and chooses a single pronunciation for each vowel. But then as the video progresses, he adopts each vowel, and so the video gets harder and harder to understand as it goes.
I might need to watch that. That sounds amusing.
So what do we have going on for monthly topics?
Don't worry. I totally did not just do this last night and found a bunch of things.
It doesn't matter. We don't need to know that. As far as we know, you were prepared last week.
Well, you hit the one that I was going to bring up, which was Tier's OP thread.
I mean, you have to mention Tier. Like, she came back.
Mm-hmm. And her OP thread, though, has become very interesting, with Macrodon suddenly walking in and yelling at her and then walking out again.
And then there's Hestia being, give me a history lesson, please.
Yeah, it would sound about right. So,
Plus,
yeah, go ahead.
when it comes to like, the whole Tier thread, like for in-character reason, I'm kind of curious how Hestia is going to react. Because all she knows about Tier is she done did a murder, but she's done a unique skill.
I mean, Tier almost killed Macrodon.
Oh, I did not know that part.
Yeah, in the same thread that she killed Manta and one other character whose name escapes me at the moment.
I think I with,
she had also attacked Macrodon, but Macrodon was currently being chained up by the monkey boss, and it was deemed that he wasn't a valid target, as he would have been too far away, as he was being restrained by the boss. And so Macrodon did not die.
So Macrodon was saved by Monkey Kings.
See, monkeys are better than us again.
Yeah, I think it was some sort of a giant monkey with chains.
Oh, okay, so that was a Fred created thing, not an actual quest one.
It was a raid boss.
Wait, what?
I thought we were gonna call it Hickey, but I mean,
it happened in a raid.
Wait, what? So, I need some more explanations on this. What? Was this like some kind of end boss?
No, it was the boss raid, the floor boss.
When did we have a monkey?
Which seems to be, the place that most people die.
Okay, Manta and Ebony.
I swear we had no monkey boss, unless I'm insane.
That might have been one of the early bosses.
Because
back when I was a frontliner.
No.
No surprise, it's all went through every single floor boss. I don't think one time there was mention of a monkey.
I swore that. I mean, I could be misremembering it, but I could have swore that's what it was.
Do you know what floor it was, at the very least?
Let me go take a look at the topics.
Because
we stopped putting the names in there.
Yeah.
Leonidas, Komatsu.
Now I'm just curious. I'm sorry to be split signs, but I'm really curious about this.
I don't think it was Limbo.
Limbo was Spider Dude.
What was Akumasaru?
I think of like. In my mind, immediately just clicks on like, oh, some kind of like dog thing. I don't know why. Might be a dog thing. But yeah, well, while Baldur is doing that, yeah, I find Tears Fed to be interesting to see how that turns out. And also, it's also yay, Tears back. So it's always nice to get some old members back.
Oh, always nice to see old members return. I get a little sentimental about that. Most of my friends have left me.
Oh.
I mean,
so
wait,
Baldur,
I don't have friends.
The nearest name is Akumasaru.
Excellent. Glad my memory isn't that gone yet. We had a very small raid. Like, I think it wasn't even quite 2 full groups, or it might have been 2 full groups or something like that. So.
I have no idea what this 424 raid's gonna get on. If you base it only on the raid meeting, it's not looking good, Baldur.
So, Hestia, what's going on with, I know you're trying to do some kind of guild? Police force guild?
Yeah, Hestia left Holy Dragon Alliance, and all I did for that thread, and I created a thread for this, by the way. And all I did was just one really long singular post, then locked the thread.
Okay.
Yeah, the thread was called "A Decision Made with a Heavy Heart." So if everyone want to read a 2,000-word post that's just one, that's for a thread, I have that. Plus, if some people want to see why Hestia decided to leave the guild, that's an option also.
I just like that Jome didn't know that Hestia left the guild until he shows up for the floor boss meeting.
Hestia said nothing to anybody about her decision. She just like looked at the guild option, thought of everything. I won't say what those things were. It was like, yeah, this is probably for the best. Leaves.
But at least you didn't do the typical MMO guild thing where somebody goes and takes everything out of the guild bank and then leaves the guild.
I'm glad we have the guild bank.
No kidding. I've seen that happen a few times before.
Mm-hmm.
I felt bad for those people, but sorry, there was nothing I could have done.
So, yeah, Hestia is now guildless, and she's thinking of wanting to form a guild. Then, if I actually look through all the statistics of how you could create a guild, that's not an option. Unless I was willing to join Sealed, which in character that's not happening.
I wonder why.
Maybe because I'm pretty sure that Sealed is kind of pissed at Hestia to some extent.
So you wouldn't join Shield and Val on the excursion to find the missing shark?
Well, Hestia would do that just because of pure history lessons that could come of it.
Yeah,
I'm surprised you haven't had Hestia take that quest yet.
Because, Sark, solar threads are evil. I don't want to torture myself.
Who said you had to be solo?
The active members on site.
You can strangle one up and rope them and drag them with you.
Yeah, just grab Pin, bring him along.
Oh, that'll go
just like Neo.
Fine.
Neo won't mind being tied up.
Oh yeah, by the way, fun fact, Neo's the only active guild on site.
Yeah, no kidding. I haven't had an active guild in ages.
I checked every guild. Like, you could consider Striders to be active enough to be considered active, but Neo's the only actual active one to be consistent every day.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
So
you right? Yeah, I'm not very active in terms of roleplay, just because I've been in charge of. I've had so much other stuff to do to where I have not had a chance to actually get back into the roleplaying. I've been wanting to, I just have not had a chance.
No, Shield actually asked Baldur in the shark hunting thread. He's like, "So, have you heard of this player named Shark?" And Baldur's like, "No, never heard of anyone named Shark as long as I've been on the front line."
When did you get to the front lines?
Well, I joined when the current front line was floor 8. I joined the front line officially for the rock fight. I had just returned to the site from one of my hiatuses.
Okay, so that might have been like one or two bosses right after I left the front lines.
Yes, the rock was floor 14.
You fool! When you killed Rock, you summoned the Baldur to fight you. I think.
Yeah, it looks like you were on floor 11, Shark.
Was that what it was?
Well, you posted in the floor 11 boss.
Is that when you went insane?
That would have been when I went insane. It was whatever the last boss battle, last boss raid I was in is when I went insane. Because the dice gods and RNG just did not like me, and so I
So
didn't
no
last
one-
to hit the entire boss fight, and that drove Shark insane.
So you
So I
see,
just-
Sark, what happened was Sindel wanted to mess with you that day.
Yeah, and it worked.
So I just pulled up that thread. Here are the groups. Group 1, Mari and Krozef.
Oh
Group
God,
2,
here we
Shark
go.
and Rebecca.
That was
That was
interesting.
it.
Yeah, that was an interesting rap. That was an interesting raid.
Azide and Ryujin Sealord and Darien got removed for whatever reason.
Yeah,
I
Ryu
could
went
have asked
on.
Krozef about Sark.
You should be able to.
I didn't. The thing I'm amazing at is, back when I was tier 2 on site, so like last year, I did like a photo 2 with Krozef before he went MIA. So, I'm
Wow,
not
so you guys fought an 8-headed Orochi with 4 players.
and I
And
heard
we
that- I think
successfully killed it, nonetheless.
who
just
needs 20
at the-
players when you do it with
at the-
4?
At the
Oh, and 4 Draconian Guardians.
yeah, it was a rough battle, but we managed.
Basically, when you join an MMO, you start off killing gods. You've killed a Orochi. You've killed the god.
Pretty much. In this game, each floor boss is another god. At least of that floor that they're on. Let's see here.
Oh wait, oh yeah, we also have, let's speak up about the Labyrinth Fed.
Go ahead.
I mean the floor meeting Fed for a little bit.
Go for it.
Mm-hmm.
Let's speak about like some things that are going on with it. Jomay's a popular boy in that Fed. Like he's been talked to by Zanja, asking for actual forgiveness, which is pretty neat. Cause maybe some things went down between Jomay and Zanja in character.
Spoilers, I haven't made it that far in the thread yet.
Oh,
No, go
sorry.
ahead. Go ahead.
And then-
Rude.
Then apparently Kikoru wanted to talk to Jomay about some super secret stuff.
Yep.
Do you have any idea what that is, Baldur?
No.
Gosh
I
dang it.
just read that post.
So, naturally, I'm curious. I wish I knew what the super security thing is. That's how to deal with it. So that's like the character things that are going on that I want to pay attention to.
Hikaru probably wants to talk to Jomei about the fact that he thinks Kayaba spoke directly to him through the boss in the previous raid.
Oh yeah, when Eva here died. And he's like something like so he laughed in his face and have fun, Master of Shadows.
Mm-hmm.
Which does bear the question. Would Heathcliff actually know that nickname?
Wait, go back. Well,
Go back to what?
Would Heathcliff know what name?
Master of Shadows.
Probably not, considering Heathcliff hasn't been active very much, just because of lack of members for his guild.
No, the boss during the fight referred to Hikaru as Master of Shadows, and so Hikaru took that to mean that Kayaba was speaking through the boss directly to Hikaru, because that would be the only way that the boss would know his game title.
Not that everyone was sounding
All
at
right then.
top of their lungs.
I think there's a flaw in the logic there, but I love that Hikaru in character is running with it. So
Yeah, that's fine. It's a good play.
I can imagine like Hikaru doesn't fully believe it. Like he believes there's a possibility. Like, he needs to be paranoid about the idea of like it could happen, so I should prepare for it if it is happening.
he has to plan a contingency for everything.
Exactly. He's the true mastermind of everything. Okay, yep. That's all I got for like the threats and all that.
Okay. So I do see that we've had a couple new members.
Yeah.
So
We got someone by the name of
Takalo,
Takalo. Yep.
and then Pureblade has returned.
Yeah, and then we also have Tyr who came back. And Anemone, for that matter also.
Unlike when Oika hopped back on site. I haven't seen Oink in a while. He did pop back about, what, a month and a half ago?
He popped up and was really active for about a week and then disappeared and then came back for like a day or two and then has disappeared again.
Exactly.
And that's where we currently are.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm hoping we don't have Tier and Emily follow suit on that kind of methodology. As soon as I cannot pronounce that word, methodology, there we go.
Yeah, no, an enemy wasn't posting. She let me know in advance because her computer went down. But now she's got. Let's let me know she got her computer back. So we're about to start taking on the Rhino.
So it'll be pretty easy. Wait,
Yeah.
isn't Anemone only a healer?
Yes, she has no sword arts.
Oh,
However,
she's like Kaiser.
yeah. However, she does have sharpen, which I'm very excited about. So now Beat won't be the only one getting sharpened.
Oh
my.
So, my mind's trying to think now, because I'm trying to remember if Ruby kept sharpen or not, or if she went full damage. I don't remember.
I can't remember either. I haven't really followed people's skills very much though, so that's part of it.
I don't either, and I'm a PST. Must like evaluate these things.
Yeah, but you have lackeys for doing that.
You see, the thing is, I don't like to make them do all the work. They just beat me to it nowadays.
So what
Just
you're saying is
something.
you're strategically laying low until someone takes care of it for you. And then you'd pop back, oh, thanks for taking care of that, I was just about to get there.
It's more so the fact is I spent a good amount of time nowadays trying to dedicate time to spending time with friends over SAO.
What? Why would you do something like that?
Because friends make your
know.
network grow. And that's how you get
That's
jobs.
I'm pretty sure routers make your network grow.
That's one network. Speaking of which, I actually just made a firewall for mine that's going to be implemented after the stream.
Nice.
Wait, what?
You made your own firewall?
Well, I use this free software called pfSense.
Mm-hmm.
That's from Netgate. And so I threw that into a virtual machine on one of my rack servers.
Nice.
So I'm excited. So let's see here. What's the status on 3.0? Hestia, do we know? Any more work done?
You guys are balancing right now, right?
See, sorry.
What had happened was
I don't see the 3.0 tab, the contents yet.
Oh yeah, that's right. We have to restrict that.
I think you'd said earlier that you guys are working a lot on balancing right now still.
Yeah.
That's what I've been
there's
told.
been a lot of talk about balancing and was the last one.
From what I've talked with Itzel about when he does mention 3.0 to me, that they've missed a good bit of the main work and now focusing on what they were calling benched topics. Gotcha. So to me that means they're getting closer towards the end than what they were like a week ago.
Yeah, because I know the discussion started on unique skills and restrictions, so we must be getting pretty close to having 3.0 rolled out in the next year.
Oh yeah, they were talking about the 3.0 actual unique skills that would be released along with 3.0.
Yeah, there's gonna be a lot of stuff coming out with 3.0.
Basically, for some, which I'm pretty sure there is a worry of the mentality of staff look at the unique skills because they know ahead of time. Like, basically the idea is, which again, it's if you listen to this and don't approve of this, I'm sorry, but I think this might be a good thing to mention. So, sorry, but comes to unique skills, everyone and anyone will be notified of the method of how to get them a week in advance. So there won't be no idea of like staff knew beforehand of how to get X skill, since there'll be a week period before it where anyone can learn how and then do it after that week period's over.
Yeah, and I do know there's at least from what last time I saw, there was talk about for the staff that are actually working on how to get these. I believe they'll be ineligible to acquire unique skills.
Yes,
at least at the start.
That is
until they
correct.
hunt you down and kill you and take it from you. But you know, that's just a safety
or in the case of
precaution. So
Ikorio.
word for the wise.
Or in the case of Ikorio, he won't get another one because you're not allowed to get two.
Yeah, but you won't see him coming anyways. He'll be hiding in the shadows.
Exactly.
They'll just shadow door there.
Omae mo sinderu.
So there's a lot coming in 3.0. You guys will like it. I will say that if you're interested in working on the systems, then contact Itzel and express your interest in joining the systems team. We are looking for plot developers. So currently, we might have one or two, but that's still in the talks. And if you're interested in joining plot and working solely on plot, go ahead and shoot us a message or contact Morg, and we'll get you the necessary information that you require. We do have, well, I have not seen any questions come across for anyone in the Q&A, so, you know, keep that in mind. We'll be taking call-ins in a minute. Not much work has been done on the Minecraft server, as, you know, people have been busy and stuff happens. So if you require more, if you want to hear more on that, go ahead and let me know. We do need developers for that, so go ahead and message me for more information.
Speaking about the YouTube Baldur, I know that's something you've been wanting to get like badly.
I was actually going to get it. Tyr and I had planned out a plot thread back when you could trade unique skills, and she was going to trade the unique skill to Baldur, and then when we finished that thread, we were informed that you could no longer trade them anymore.
Yeah, and then so for in character reasons, I'm curious. Baldur will go to Tyr being like, "How'd you get it?"
I'm not sure I want to hear that story. I'm not old enough.
Oh, do tell, Baldur.
If you go look up the thread where it was acquired from, it is very
interesting,
awkward to say the least. Yeah.
Does it belong to your section?
It probably might.
Know, yeah. There's I think if you go to my journal, where I have where Baldur acquired or where Baldur has the Muramasa in his inventory, I have a thread to where it was traded to Baldur and a thread to where the sword was awarded. So okay. I think in that way you can find the thread where Tyr got it from, but yeah, so it's not safe for work.
Do you not know the name off the top of your head?
Of the thread?
Yes. Do you know the name off the top of your head?
No, I don't.
Okay, I was asking for research purposes. Okay. Wait, what? Local... Gosh dang it, has. Union memes.
Easy people. Let's see here. So, if you want to hop on and ask us some questions, go ahead and join in the call-in section, and we'll pull you into the podcast and you can talk with us.
Oh, hey, son, you're not old enough to read that thread either.
Okay, so let's look at Baldur's journal. Let's look at Baldur's.
Yeah, right. If you have any questions, send those our way, and we'll get those answered for you.
It's called the One-Winged Angel.
Thank you. Oh no. There's no way that this can go wrong.
You say that now.
No way. Okay, so I can't do it via quotation marks to find the thread via the title of that. So I should try to find another way to do it.
But yeah, so yeah, I'm glad to see that the staff that are working on it are recusing themselves. So that should help a lot. I'm mixed opinions on unique skills, because on one hand, like I've been trying before there even were unique skills or sword arts in general. Like I had Baldur take charge when no one else took charge, because I was like, hey, this emulates, you know, kind of having a Bato Jutsu like style. And you know, that was back when weapon styles there were no difference between any of them, except katana you had to have a rank 3 curved sword to get, so you just spent a whole bunch of SP for no numerical benefit.
And now everyone who wants some diversity will pick up katanas.
So, I've been literally built Baldur around the idea of Bato Jutsu. So, on the one hand, I would really love to have it. I may have to take a day or two off of work, in order to make sure I get it before anyone else does.
Well, the good thing
at
is,
the same time, I don't think unique skills add anything good to the site, especially when the population is kind of at its current level. Maybe if we had 100 active players, then having 10 players with unique skills would be more acceptable. But when we've got a population of 25, 30 people, having 1/3 of them have a skill that makes them way better than anybody else at their chosen thing to do just doesn't feel like it's a good balance.
No, but I mean that's why they're like so few of them. But I mean that's what you're not always gonna be balanced or at the same level in any kind of RPG. There's always gonna be people that can get better than you, and the only thing you have to do is just outsmart them.
I get that, but I think just everybody gets this unique skill craze, like bloodlust in their eyes, and I just worry that it's going to cause a lot more hurt feelings and site drama than it's going to sort of add interesting benefit to the site.
I mean, the only way that we can actually see is if we run them and release them as planned, and then
it just depends on what the staff does with unique skills now. They can be very different than what they used to be. I mean, back in the day, what was it? Achilles, when Tristan had it, not only did it reduce the damage he took by like 60 or 75% or something like that, it also reflected that damage back at the target, and it gave him armor that was 4 slots. I think it was 2 slots of the holy one that heals you when you take damage, and it was 2 slots of flame thorns, which was the mitigation and the better version of thorns damage. So
what?
Yeah. So I think we sat down and figured that if Zell used Starburst Stream against Tristan, they would kill each other. That was about the only thing that could happen.
So we'll have to think about those stuff in development just to see what our actual outputs could be and what could happen versus what we want to happen.
If you're getting a unique skill, you don't also need a broken item.
No, yeah, right. So we're going to make sure everything is safe.
What do you count as a broken item?
You. Oh, sorry. I thought we were... I'm kidding.
Don't worry, I'm always broken on the inside.
I'm pretty sure shield would kill for 2 holy whatever it's called, holy whatever, and 2 flame thorn armor, especially in the old version of what those enhancements did.
Oh jeez, yeah, no kidding.
I would love that some flame armor. Well. Just give me like 2 flame aura, 2 frost aura, and I'll be happy.
Well, and I think flame aura gave equivalent to heavy armor mitigation, but it also stacked with mitigations. It was really broken.
Yeah, there were quite a few things that we had out that were beyond broken.
Mm-hmm.
Any takers for the call-in? Not, I think so. We're wrapping up this stream pretty early.
For once, it's not 2 hours.
Yeah, no kidding. I mean, just over an hour, but that's about average. Had pretty good discussion so far. Any last comments or topics you guys want to touch on that we haven't talked about already?
I mean, you guys weren't here last time, so like, what's your anime that you're watching for this season? What's your favorite anime in general?
I haven't really caught up on much. I know I just finished downloading episode 20 of Sword Art. for this season. I'm about to watch that today.
Yeah, I'm curious. I'm not terribly interested in Alicization, but I'm gonna watch it. I have not been doing a good job of keeping up on anime, but I have started watching. It's called Kingdom on Netflix, and it's a Korean live-action historical show about basically Korean samurai versus zombies that takes place in sort of their Korean samurai age, and it's actually really good.
It sounds interesting.
I would definitely highly recommend checking that out. I have actually been to the locations that they use in that show, and they are stunning. So, like, if you watch it, you see the Emperor's castle and everything like that. I got to go there. It looks just like that. It's stunning. The costumes and everything they've done are historically accurate, beautiful. And it's actually pretty good. So if you'd like a samurai version of Walking Dead, there you go.
Huh. Alright, I definitely would have to check that out. But no, when I actually read the novel for Alicization, and it was actually really good. And so I'm actually really impressed with how they put that into the visual.
Yeah, I am curious. I know Ariel really loved it, and so that kind of piqued my curiosity. But I haven't read too much of it. I tend to stick to the Aincrad stuff. But
Aincrad was definitely because that's the OG. Of course, it's gonna be the best one. But I actually like the new Aincrad version.
What are you talking about? Who doesn't like the fairy dancer? What's wrong with it?
That's for fairies.
At least for myself, anime I've been watching is everyone's been looking at Discord. They'd see I got myself a new profile pic for it, and that's a face claim from an anime called Okami-san and Her Seven Companions. So I've been watching that.
I've actually watched that. That came out a long time ago.
It did, but I'm enjoying myself either way.
No, I enjoyed it. I think unfortunately it ended unfinished, but
what? Oh, that's disappointing.
Spoiler alert.
I don't know if they did a second season or not. So I would love it if they did, but yeah, that's been a while.
I would love a new season. God, I'm actually upset about that now. And I've released an episode up to 3.
It's worth watching and finishing.
I think the most interesting part, it's interesting. I would say interesting in the sense of how the characters are made, is that they're all based off of fairy tale creatures and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Like the main character is based off the Wolf from Little Red Riding Hood. Some person that they helped in the show is based off of Cinderella and all that kind of stuff.
Oh, there you go. There's an anime I've been watching. I just finished Ruby, the latest season.
What's your opinions on it?
So we actually got Shield Nicolin.
That episode made me cry.
Aww.
Alright, hey, let's bring Shield's waiting, so we're gonna bring him in and see what he's got to say. Hey, Shield, welcome to the show.
Do we hear his majestic voice yet?
Not yet.
Is he muted?
Not on my watch. I don't see him muted.
He's not getting the green ring around him like he's talking, so he may be muted or just trying to get it to set up.
Probably.
So, while Shield sets up,
Baldur. Yeah, that Ruby episode wrecked me. Like, I was listening to the song that they used in the background of that scene with the statue, and I was sitting in my office at lunch watching it, trying not to cry in the middle of my office.
You mentioned this in the general chat.
I mean, the girl that they get to vocalize a lot of their songs has a phenomenal voice, but especially for doing that kind of sad, emotional song like that, it was just it has to be probably the best, if not one of the best episodes of Ruby.
Yeah, Cassie Lee Williams, amazing singer. And the thing is, she was like 12 when they got her on for the first season.
Yeah.
So that's like mind-blowing.
Yeah, that's impressive.
But I was also going to bring up, if anybody wants weeb points and likes to read, there's an older book called Shogun by James Clavell, and
That's old. Oh shit.
yeah, I think I read it for the first time last year, maybe the year before, something like that. And it's a phenomenal book. If you played the game Nio, it's actually about the same thing. So the character is based on a historical uh, European that crash landed in Japan during the Sengoku Jidai and worked for Ieyasu Tokugawa. And it's a phenomenal book that tries to kind of marry what it was like for a Westerner to be in ancient Japan, and it's phenomenal.
Definitely got to check that out.
It sounds interesting, sir. So
Shield-kun, are you alive?
New phone, who dis?
You're saying it gives me a button that says connect to voice. So you're having troubles connecting, and that button does nothing, huh?
He's been in here before.
Well, he's on a new phone.
Would you want to? Sealed. Would you like to follow the methodology of Neo and just type out?
Can you disconnect?
Oh yeah, it's on the second account.
Oh, he's moved. He's in the channel, and we haven't had any issues with this working before, so could be a phone issue. If you can if you can disconnect, if not, I can probably remove you from something. I can't remove from voice chats. If anything, maybe
Baldur.
close out of Discord, relaunch it. Or if anything, I'll kick you from the server, you rejoin in.
If you could have like one more season of any anime, what would you want?
Oh god, that is a good question. If I could have one more season of any anime, which one would I want? I wish you had given me time to prepare for this one.
No kidding, that's a loaded question. There's so many good animes.
I'm trying to think of an anime that I watched that ended without another season that I would really want.
I'm also gonna put this little stipulation in because I know this is a restriction on anime. You have another season of an anime, and it had all the source material to make it a full season.
World Trigger.
So
I've not finished that yet.
Trigger.
So World Trigger had an anime.
So good.
And the manga is way the hell further on, but the mangaka ended up having health issues and having to stop work for, I don't know, 3 years, and has just recently come back and is producing new work. But they stopped at like the end of the first arc, so there should probably be enough for another 2 seasons in there. But it's really good. I would love to get more of it.
Little cheese.
Man, if you'd given me a little bit more time to look up some of the old anime, there's a bunch that like didn't get a second season or a second half of a season that I would love to get more of. And I'm trying to think of some off the top of my head. One anime that I would love to see get or manga that I would love to see get an anime adaptation of is I think it's called Tsukiyote New Saga or something like that. It basically translates to kind of New Game Plus. And the premise for it is that this hero goes and defeats the Demon Lord. And then as the Demon Lord is dying in front of him, unleashes the power of like the heart of the great dragon and actually sends the hero back in time to the beginning. And so now the hero is basically going through New Game Plus.
Huh.
And you're learning about the world in the New Game Plus, but it follows the trope of like the hero is sort of overpowered compared to everybody else, but only because he has some sort of a knowledge of what's to come. So it's very funny because, you know, when you go to play a new game, you're like, oh, well, I know where the special dungeon is that has the magic sword that I really want. So I'm just going to go straight there. but he doesn't have like the levels to back it up at the start. So it's got a really interesting world, some fun characters, just kind of a neat concept. It's similar to an isekai, but not an isekai. So
I guess, yeah.
unfortunately, it's on a monthly release.
Do we know if are we actually getting a next season of No Game No Life?
That's what I was gonna mention.
Didn't they just come out with a movie or something like that?
I think so, at least somewhat recently. And by recently, I mean like 3 years. No, like within the last 3 years.
I was thinking like within the last year.
Hey, Sark, what do you know about that?
Know about what?
No Game No Life movie.
I do not. Alright, now it shows Shield's muted.
So
Grand
Grand
Crest Senki is another one.
The one I was gonna suggest was Konosuba.
Oh yeah, Konosuba would be a good one too.
Oh, Konosuba would be a good one.
I haven't watched Konosuba, but from what I've seen and heard, it's an amazing comedy.
Grand Crest Senki came out from the guy that made Record of the Lotus War, and I really enjoyed the anime, but it's one of those shows where they crammed the entire plot beyond where the manga has gotten into a single season.
Wait. Theo, can you try talking?
Not hearing anything.
Yeah, that's real. What's happening?
I don't have any kind of. I've got all volumes up.
Yeah, that's weird. Because.
Oh no, Axios, you hit it. Grimgar Season 2, 100% yes.
How about Infinite Stratos next season?
So yes, Teal, we don't know what's happening to you. Because we can see you can see your icon lighting up, but it's not transferring sound over it.
Yeah. Try checking your defaults, where your default sound and stuff's coming from in your Discord app.
Technical issues are always abound.
Is there any other topics anything that people want to discuss? If not, I think we're gonna wind down the stream and try to get Shield in next episode. And next episode will be our final episode of the season. And then we'll go on maybe like a 2-3 month, maybe 4-month break. Then we'll come back with season 6. And
we'll be on floor 25. We'll be on floor 25.
Maybe 26.
But there is going to be, stay tuned to some news from me and announcements regarding next season, as the special guest sign-up system has actually changed. So look for that if you are interested in being on here as a special guest for the next season. Anyone else with final remarks?
Not really. Besides the fact I'm sad that Shield's been like muted somehow.
Shield, if you had something you want to talk about, go ahead and put it in type, and we'll see if we can actually get around to it. If not, then we're gonna start spinning down the stream. Let's see here. Bal, you got anything that you wanted to talk about?
Not really. I have to say I'm very curious to see where the front line goes. I'm going to try and finish reading the meeting thread so I can post in that, but this is going to be a very interesting boss fight.
I get the feeling that the meeting and the boss fights, there's going to be a small little like contention, like this a tense aura for Sealed, Zanja, and then you guys.
Yeah, that's definitely going to be the case.
So Shield says how many they planned for. He was going to the general idea of US for unique skills. How many they plan to have? Whether there's a plan in the works to keep all of them from getting grabbed all at once, and no one else gets a shot. Shield, we did mention before that there's going to be a week's notice in advance on how you obtain them, and then I don't exactly know the final number of how many we're planning on having.
So
I
cannon was
think
10,
there
but
is
I wouldn't
a
be surprised if you did one for each weapon.
Yeah,
I think around 10.
I think 10 was the number that was agreed on. But there
This
is
is- this might
a
be correct from what I
week
remember.
advance notice on how you obtain them, and then once that week period is over, that's when it'll be all free reign.
And any staff who's working on the method of obtaining unique skills is not allowed to touch them, basically.
Hey, if people want to grind and get it, then that's up to them.
You know, I'm really excited about Infinite Spear. You know, it lets you attack players from a different thread. So
You activate Sawardo, everything's fine.
Yeah,
So
I believe it was
Axios,
10
there
in,
were
10 in canon.
yeah, there were 10 in canon. Holy Sword is the one that Heathcliff has, and then Dual Blades that Kirito had, Bato Jutsu, Shuriken Jutsu, Infinite Spear.
I know we don't have. I don't think we have throwing weapons.
Shadow Blade, or Darkness Blade, rather.
Yeah, I remember Darkness Blade.
Darkness Blade is the one that Poe had for. It was canonically awarded to the person with the most player kills.
Who would that? Would that be? Mari technically.
Mari or Tyr. It depends on how you define player kills. If you're talking about killing NPC players, I think Mari. If you're talking about killing actual players, I think it's Tyr.
I would say actual players. If you go with NPC players, then it's Aerith actually.
So to answer Shield, there will be time requirements that people have to meet, and if they're inactive for some odd time, and don't give staff a heads up notice that they're going inactive, then they'll lose that skill. But there are going to be ways to obtain it after they've been cleaned by people, and so that information will be released, maybe probably before the unique skill announcements is.
I'm going through my mind of what I remembered it's all saying.
So canonically there were 10, and they were Bato Jutsu, Darkness Blade, Dual Blade, Holy Sword, Infinite Spear, and Shuriken Jutsu.
We know Dual Blades belongs to the Life Subtractor. Actually, yeah, I don't know how they're handling NPCs with unique skills. So I'm gonna be surprised when that happens.
Yeah, I know there's a lot of work, so I mean, nothing like that I mentioned was officially final, but that's where it looks like it's gonna head. So stay tuned for more information as these start being worked on and finalized. And so by the time 3.0 rolls out, everyone will have all the information they need to figure out how these unique skills are gonna affect them. Well, if no one else has any final remarks, I think we're gonna go ahead and end the stream and let you all go on and continue on with your daily lives.
Sounds
I need
good.
a nap.
I'm about to have a bunch of company descend on my house.
Sounds about right.
Yeah, we're having people over for not a barbecue, but kind of just for dinner and drinks and seeing people.
That'll be fun.
That sounds nice.
Well, I would love to thank each and every one of you for coming on this wonderful Saturday morning for us here in the Central Division. If it's nighttime at you, I thank you for spending your evening with us. And until next week or until next month, and that's our final episode of season 5.
Thanks for having me, Shark.
It was a pleasure having you. Hestia, thank you for being the co-host as always.
Hey, anytime. It's nice to actually be able to talk socialized.
Yeah, right. So again, I would love to thank you all for being here, and hope you have a wonderful rest of your day.
I wonder if this lie inside my heart has been